Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my first 2014 NFL mock draft. Picks 1 through 10 are already up, so be sure to check that video out. This is for picks 11 through 20 of the first round. Pick 11 belongs to the Tennessee Titans. A lot of different ways you could see the Titans going with this pick. I think they go safety, and I think they go with Clinton-Dix from the University of Alabama. And, Dix is a guy that I think can fit in nicely on a overall very fast, very aggressive young defense. I think they need to get younger at the safety position. And what Dix brings to the table is, sure, he's shown he can come down and play in the run in run stopping if needed. But where he really is going to be a benefit to the NFL team he ends up on is he's a good cover guy from the safety spot. How many terrible cover safeties do they have now in the NFL? There's a lot. I almost see one every single game I watch, and that's why I think a guy like Clinton-Dix is even going to go a little higher than people think. I think he goes to the Titans at pick 11. Pick 12 belongs to the Giants, and the Giants, for a very, very long time, were a team known for its linebacking core. And in the last decade or so, that linebacking core, and I think Giant fans will agree with me, has been very underwhelming. I think it's finally time for them to address the linebacking core, and I think they do that with taking Clinton-Dix's teammate, C.J. Mosley, here at pick number 12. Mosley is a guy that you could plug in from day one and play. The scheme won't be too much for him. If he needs to make some calls from the linebacker position, that won't be too big of a task for him either. And he's a three-down guy who could be effective in coverage as well. So I like C.J. Mosley at pick 12 to the Giants. Pick 13 belongs to the Rams. And I know the Rams took, of course, Tavon Austin last year. If you remember, I have them taking Jake Matthews earlier in the first round here at pick 2. That's why I have them taking another wide receiver at 13 with Mike Evans from Texas A&M. You have the burner in Tavon Austin. Why not get a big 6'5 receiver, sort of in the mold of an Anquan Bolden, all right, to go opposite Austin? I think it could be an awesome combination there in St. Louis. Mike Evans, pick 13 to the St. Louis Rams. Pick 14 is the Bears. And, when I watch the Bears, the glaring need for them, to me, was some help up the middle on that defense. And I think they're going to go, all right, defensive tackle in this spot. And I have them taking Rashid Hageman from Minnesota. I have Hageman a lot higher than a lot of other people do. I have him higher because he's a very versatile player, very fast and quick for his size. And he's a guy, I think, come combine time, that's really going to shoot up everyone's board. And I think he could shoot up definitely into the middle of the first round. He's a versatile guy. I think he could play on the outside of a 3-4 or at the tackle spot in a 4-3. And I think the versatility, the production, and of course the fact he's going to be a athletic marvel at the combine, that's why I like him here at pick 14 to the Bears. Pick 15 belongs to the Steelers. And, the Steelers have whiffed on some offensive linemen in the draft recently. There's no question about it. But I don't think they could stop looking. And I think if they go after a guy like Taylor Lewan from Michigan, a big 6'7", 300-pound tackle, I think he's a guy that is and I hate to use this word, but is a safer pick than guys they picked in the past. This is a guy who has a multitude of experience, certainly at Michigan. I know Michigan had a tough season this year on the offensive side of the ball, but if you really look, he's a guy who has plenty of experience, quick feet, obviously a powerful guy at 6'7", 300 pounds. I don't think his stock has fallen that much where he slips past the first half of the first round. So give me Taylor Lewan, the tackle from Michigan, at pick 15 to the Steelers. Pick 16 belongs to the Ravens. And, it seems like every year, of course, Ozzie Newsome picks a guy and we say, man, why didn't that guy get picked earlier? And I think this year that guy is going to be Marqise from USC. I know he had the injury bug in 2013, and I think that's the only reason why, all right, he's not a top 11, 12 pick in this draft. He has track star type speed, all right, even was on USC's track team, good hands, good route runner. I think he's a guy who's severely underrated in this class. And I'm going to look past the injuries this year. Marqise Lee, pick number 14, fills the wide receiver need for the Baltimore Ravens. Pick number 17 belongs to the Cowboys. They need help on the defensive line. Another team that needs a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. I think they address the defensive line and take Kony Ealy, the defensive end from Missouri. A lot of speculation. Is he an outside linebacker in a 3-4? Is he a defensive end in a 4-3? I'm more err on the side of 4-3 defensive end. Okay, we'll see how that sort of unfolds here with the Cowboys, what they do with their defensive coaching staff. But if Monty Kiffin stays, I think he'll fit in well as one of those 4-3 defensive ends, opposite, obviously, DeMarcus Ware. So I like Kony Ealy, defensive end from Missouri, all right, to the Cowboys. Pick 18 belongs to the Jets, and the Jets need a playmaker on offense. It's just the bottom line. And with Lee being taken where I have him taken, I think the drop-off between Watkins, Lee, and Evans to the next receiver is too much. That's why I think the Jets will take Eric Ebron from North Carolina, my top-rated tight end in this class. And Ebron's a guy who is going to fit in the mold of one of those tight ends that have really, in a way, revolutionized the NFL. The Vernon Davises of the world, Jimmy Graham, obviously Rob Gronkowski as well. These guys have come in the league, forced defenses to change their scheme and strategy, and Ebron's that kind of guy. He could probably get better as a blocker, but as a pass-catching weapon for Geno Smith, I think he could be valuable. That's why I have him going to pick number 18 to the Jets. Pick 19 belongs to the Miami Dolphins. And look, whatever way you want to slice it, the Dolphins need help on the offensive line. It's pretty clear. That probably kept them, the problems on the offensive line, ultimately probably kept them from making the playoffs, with Brian Tannehill, for instance, being sacked 58 times this year. I have them taking Cyrus Kouandjio, the tackle from Alabama. This is a guy, the talent is there. When he's focused, the domination of his opponent is there. If you watch the film, do they have the coaching staff in Miami to get him focused more than not? And did he just get bored in college? What was the deal? I don't know. But the effort wasn't there consistently. I think a team will definitely take him in the first round, thinking they could get more out of him. I have that team being the Miami Dolphins here. I picked 19. Pick 20, I have the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, I think they need another outside linebacker that will eventually take over for John Abraham. Maybe Abraham has 1-2 more years left in him. Draft a guy that's a steady linebacker that I think can be an effective pass rusher in the NFL, but most importantly is very, very versatile in his skill set. To me, that guy is Trent Murphy, the outside linebacker from Stanford. He's a guy who's not going to blow you away athletically. He always seems to be involved in the play, whether it's in run defense, whether it's getting after the quarterback, a better guy in coverage than you would think for a guy that big. I mean, a guy that's 6'6", weighs as much as he does as an outside linebacker. When you have that 3-4 set, to me, I'm an advocate of those big linebackers, like the guys that Belichick tries to get. And I like Murphy's fit in this 3-4, and Murphy's fit as a versatile guy here for the Cardinals at pick 20. Guys, let me know what you think of picks 11 through 20 here in my mock draft. Again, check picks 1 through 10 as well. That'll be a link to that. Picks 1 through 10 will be posted on this video as well. And guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel, not only to catch picks 21 through 32 of the mock draft, but also, just overall, I post multiple NFL videos every day here on my YouTube channel. It's absolutely free to subscribe. Interested to hear what you think in the comments, as always. Thanks, as always, for listening. Hope you enjoy picks 11 through 20. Have a great night.